Well, it's me again, and the more I think about being signal proof, the more it gets me each and every day that I start to think about education in a different way. The knowledge is out there, and I find that the more I talk to educators that are around my age, the more that they are not aware of some of the changes out there that are happening right in front of their face. And it pains me. It pains me because my business partner and I are working hard to try to figure out a way to open doors for students to focus on the creator. I think that's been the problem. You see, the system has been designed to focus on the studio, on the corporation. Let's take it really back. The system has been designed to put people in the line of service for manufacturing. It's an old system. It is. Don't get me wrong. However, it teaches people the basic skills so they can get out there and do things that they need to do. Yet, we haven't had a system that's ever been set up to kind of cultivate creativity. I'm going to tell you, I grew up in that kind of system. And as we have seen through results, about 30% of us actually came out of that fame system and moved into actual professional entertainment. And there were many stories throughout that time. And when I say many stories, I've seen many stories, and some of us are not even here to talk about it anymore. Now, they attempted to figure out ways to cultivate that. However, from what I remember, a lot of the teachers didn't like the students in these programs and treated them harshly. They didn't like the fact that these students were going through systems that allowed them to do a little bit more than other students and seemed more privileged. I mean, now we have STEAM, which is actually a derivative off of that same magnet program. That first magnet program was all about arts. They found that they can cultivate students in the path of STEM, and adding STEAM in there, arts in there, just as a little hint to get back to the arts, because you can't really have all these systems without remembering the arts. You see, people look at the arts in a total different way. Oh, it's these fancy people, but sacred geometry, mathematics, vibrational resonance, ancient understandings come out of the arts. And so I was talking about somebody the other with this somebody. Oh, I'm so excited about it. I can't even say it. I was talking about this with someone the other day. And in the process of saying it, I said, I think a lot of scientists have it a little bit wrong. And I'm going to get yelled at for this one all day long. But I think a lot of people in religion have it wrong too. And I think all the religions have it wrong across the board. So I'm going to get yelled at for that too. But I think if you sat back and you actually started to combine all this knowledge and all this faith and all this belief, and you started to calculate with a keen eye or an eye of discernment, and you start to dig in, well, you might find yourself in trouble with some kind of high leadership somewhere. I'm just going to be honest with you. That's why I like fictional books, because I can write whatever I want if it's fiction. When I start to write it in nonfiction, any of these thoughts in nonfiction, I become a conspiracy theorist or all this stuff. And I'm not even a conspiracy theorist. I'm not even talking about a conspiracy. I'm just talking about the lack of understanding we have about what we don't know and how dangerous those things can be. You know, the key is that knowledge is power. And if knowledge is power, knowledge is always going to be dangerous. And as we dig in deeper to start to understand that our education is set up to set up a system for the Industrial Revolution, where you had more manufacturing jobs and middle management jobs and leadership jobs that were held mostly at the executive level by one or two people that became boards of people who wanted to be like those one or two people. No, don't get me wrong. I don't fault them for wanting to be that way. You got your opportunity to get there. Now we got to start re-looking at the system as the system's changing, as they've already been looking at it before most of us have. And that's the problem. Most of y'all are sitting out there typing in the ChatGPT, copying emails, copying prompts, you know what I'm saying, going back and forth, you know, not even realizing that ChatGPT is about to come out with an agent, and this agent is going to be able to make it so you don't have to copy back and forth, but it's going to be limited memory. Why? Because they know the dangers. Giving something like that, all that memory, can have people create all kind of things, that biological weapons, you know, machinery that attacks human beings. I mean, I remember I'm out here trying to get to people and trying to get to people to understand that we are in a world that we need to get out in. You and I. If you're looking at this, you and I need to get out in this world. All right? And we need to be on that computer figuring out more and more and more about what AI is doing, feeding it information. I got my own GPT, Nickelodeon GPT, and I feed it all kind of information because I want people who come out and learn from me, any student who comes out and learns from me, to learn about the stuff that I want to put out there when it comes to education, the knowledge. And no, I don't feed it any conspiracy stuff. I feed it straight knowledge. Why? That's what it's about, being signal proof. Even if I have conspiracy ideas, you know, like Area 54, you know what I mean? I got all kind of ideas about Area 54, but I don't even want to talk about it, right? Because to me, if I talked about that kind of stuff, then I'm perpetuating some kind of conspiracy lie or some kind of UFO information that we don't even know is true in the first place. We don't know what's true. We don't know what's in that area unless you wore a badge and walked through that area, or wore a uniform and were able to walk through that area. Because anybody who went in that area without it did not come back alive. Let's just be real about that. So I'm not trying to talk any of that stuff because my mind is set. That stuff's going to be there. Why am I worried about that conspiracy stuff? Why am I worried about all that? I just want to worry about the media I create and the people I talk to about media. You know, and if it ever gets a time where I have to worry about that, where somebody steps in my way and I got to worry about it, then I got to worry about it then. But why are we spending most of our time worried about what's going to happen that never really happens to most people? That we never really see or hear about to most people. We hear about it on some social media and stuff, and we forget our path and we get stuck on some kind of road and forget that we got to put up that shield, that signal shield that bounces signal off of us. That shield of power. Because there's spiritual vampires out there. I know this for a fact. I spend a lot of time about people who will suck you dry of energy. Many years, spiritual vampires. And you know what? I'm like an Energizer bunny. They don't know how to, they can't even get enough of me. I overcharge for them. And yeah, I do get wore out at some point in time. I mean, look, I'm recording all the time. I was out on the bike recording today. I was in editing today. I was writing something today. I was editing a book today. I went back and made some AI animation today. Now I'm right in front of your face once again on the screen. Why? because this is so important. I try to come out all the hype. I could try to come straight up. But I got to tell you, it is important that you get to know and understand it without the hype. Step by step, training it. I've heard all kinds of stories. People telling me, oh, well, I play with AI and it just doesn't get things right. Why? Because you haven't been training it. Train your AI. Put information into it. Yeah, you can start out with making a book like I did. I made a book that was crap. I say it's crap. It's not really crap. I wanted to see what would happen if I worked with AI with an idea. And it came out like this. This is those books you go and you say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and burn and throw away. But you know what? I kept it. Why? Because there's a story in there that's going to be rewritten. I'm already rewriting it with a better eye of discernment and a better penmanship than I wrote this. Because I did write a lot of this and work with AI to kind of go through a pattern and see if I can do things a certain way. Ask it questions. Ask it to rate me a certain way. Actually, I didn't start rating until after this book. I learned my lesson. Because this book, I don't even think that book excited my mother. Okay? If that book didn't excite my mother, it didn't really excite me when I think about it. I thought about it for a second. It didn't even excite me. When I think about the story and I know every detail of it, I'm like, this is what I wanted to tell, but it didn't really dig enough. There's some great characters in there. There's some great roles in there to be tapped into. But I got caught up in what was going on in my life and the stories that I wanted to tell and the people I wanted to work with. I got caught up in trying to make a quick buck. I'm gonna just be honest with you. Because I thought I should be doing something else instead of writing this book. Instead of laying the groundwork for what came out of Signalproof. I say it came out of Signalproof because I didn't let all the naysayers. I've had people tell me, you shouldn't write a series because you're wasting your time by putting out books. You shouldn't even put out books before you know people want to read them. I talked about this today, and I'm going to ease a little bit out. How do you get your audience, and how do you get your audience involved with something? You've got to publish it. You've got to produce, publish it, and see what they say. Now, in some cases, when you have a certain amount of clout in your community, when they know you for doing some of the things that you've already done, when they understand the product that you already have for them, when they understand the product that you already have for them, you may be able to publish and pay attention before producing. Odyssey is a perfect example. The whole movie's sold out before it's even finished. It's not even in the can. It's sold out in IMAX theaters. Christopher Nolan did it. He actually used the same program that we use to actually make films, but the same program we use to make deals in the speaking world. It's the same tactics. I mean, think about it. He's had to do it when he's ever pitched a film to a studio to try to get it off the ground, except this time, instead of pitching the studios, he pitched to theaters. Pitched to IMAX theaters. If you got the IMAX theaters on board, the studios come right on board. Tactics. We have to pay attention to being creative in what we do. And that gets me back to what I'm talking about here. You see, the old system, the old school system, everything that we need to get through is set up for us to follow one kind of tactic. not be as creative. I'm going to just be cut and dry with you. I've had professors tell me that I might not ever make it in this industry. I've already done that. I've had professors tell me, you might get thrown out of this industry. You know what? I've already done that. I didn't get thrown out of this industry. I walked away on a 5-year contract and lost all my contacts and had to start over again. I don't fear any of this stuff that you try to throw at me from this industry. Why? Because I grew up in this industry and I've seen the changes and I've seen the lies that people tell people. I've been around on sets that people don't even remember me being on, around some of the highest stars that you have ever seen in your life. People still like try to talk to me and tell me, oh, you can't do that. You can't do what? We're in a new era. This is a creator economy, not a studio economy. Once again, have you paid attention? Or are you just teaching something that you don't know and don't understand? And I say this to the educators out there because it's our job to learn about what's going on now. To learn about what's going on now, to learn the tools that are out there, to learn how to use the tools so that we can turn around and mentor people in how to use these tools in the knowledge and skills that we have from being in the industry already prior to being there. And if we can't do that, we need to step down and get the hell out of the way and let somebody else do it. If we can't take the time to learn and keep learning, because life is what? A learning process. If you're a professor out there and you don't have a coach telling you what's going on in the industry, you need to stop real quick, take a piece of your damn paycheck, and get yourself a coach and learn what's going on in this industry. I might get in trouble for this. I might not get scholarships that I've been working for this. But the truth is, stop telling students lies. We need to work with students. We need to mentor students. We need to connect with these different generations so we can continue to build our industry. Otherwise, it'll go to some real estate project and be sold off. And Hollywood will be an old-time story that we once told to our kids, or that our kids' kids once told to their kids. This is what disheartens me, because that's what corporations do, and that's what executives do. Executives figure out ways to make money for a company even when it's failing, even when there's nobody working in it, even when it's not about the industry it's in. Why do you think all these industries have been in and out of entertainment? Listen to the names that have flowed in and out of buying entertainment companies since deregulation. I mean, did you realize that there were entertainment companies owned by car companies at one point? Are you really picking up what I'm putting down? I mean, if you really expand out these companies, who are they really owned by? Are you paying attention to the social issues that you don't really need to be caring about because it's already affecting you on another end, because it's already taking money out your back pocket while distracting you with social issues and making you think that the social issue is really the issue when it's not. The real issue is what's happening with laws that have to do with money, because they stop all those social programs. So when you're fighting a social program, it's already too late because you didn't pay attention to the law before that was being changed. That had to do with taking away money from that social program and trickling it away and showing, oh, there's no need for this program. Nobody's even showing up to these meetings to fight for this program. Why? Because you're stuck in the rat race at work all day long, especially in the entertainment industry, 12 to 16 hours a day. No time to go out to these meetings. No siesta Thursdays, one of the things I love to do. When I produce, we have siesta Thursdays. Why? People don't know this, but that's payday. Give them siesta Thursday. We come in, we work a late shift. We might come in the morning setup or whatever. Boom, y'all get paid. See y'all later. Go spend time with family. Go out to a theme park. Go spend time in the community. Go pay bills. When we think about the people, when we think about the creators, our creators come back stronger. So let us stop treating education like it's a studio community, and let's start treating education like it's creator community. We have to think big. We have to study. We have to learn. We have to get out there like Anne-Marie Pierce-Simone. She flies everywhere, all over the place, and she knows more about these digital aspects than most of y'all. She's right there in your camp. Are you talking to her? She's right there, professors. She's in every single camp. I've seen her around every single school, around every single digital product. Yeah, you're looking at her and you're probably feeling down because she's walking with arm crutches and she's got whatever's going on with her body. I don't even know. I don't care. Her knowledge is more powerful than the way you see her. And that's a problem. That's a problem with most of y'all when it comes to diversity. You don't even understand it, do you? You missed out on the knowledge because you're afraid to talk to the woman because she's disabled in your eyes. But she's more able than many of you. I'm done ranting. This is Doc. You know how it is. I keep it real. This is Doc. I'm out. We got to change things in education. We got to change our world today. We got to teach people what they need to do to be in this creator community. Peace.